on yet.
Now it is.
Yeah.
It's so hard not to say anything.
I know.
Oh, it talks so bad. God.
But we gotta go.
Must say funny things.
I'll try to get us started.
We're live. We've been live for a few seconds.
I know, I see
Oh.
that.
Then I'll try to get this little bad boy started.
Let's crank this baby up.
Might as well start, huh?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
This is the main event.
How come it says November 26th?
Hey, Andrew, Frank, AK, stop screwing around. Show's about to start. In 5, 4, 3. Y'all ready for this? And now, from somewhere in North America, it's The Blast. It's the show about everything, yet teaches you nothing, and still leaves you wanting so much more. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be entertained as never before. And now, here is the man that Gandhi gives his credit to for his personal inspiration, JK.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hi,
James.
everybody.
James, in
Look
the
at this.
house. That's
Oh,
my
what?
baby Doxies.
There it is. There's my surprise. I was going to start
I
out
love
with, and Amy's in the house on Wednesday.
I love my little puppy dogs.
You like
Oh.
Love it.
that? Amy's
Grassy
in the house.
ass. Grassy
Yeah.
ass.
We have
Oh.
Brett's in the house.
Hi, everybody.
house.
Sorry I was gone last week. I had family obligations, but I'm so glad to be back with you this week. Thank you.
And we had fun.
Mommy let him out to play.
And Andrew's in the
Notice
house.
how I'm red?
Andrew.
Yeah,
Andrew's
all
been-
that's red. Yeah.
That's right.
That's all red. Yeah.
That's right.
Satan. Satan.
It's exciting.
And
Oh,
James,
evil.
and James in blue. I bet you James in blue. No?
I didn't do mine.
How come?
Because I just pulled that whole thing out of my ass I told you about
I
15
like that. That
minutes
was good.
before the show.
That's why the show stinks. Oh.
Ba-dum-bum. Hey, James, I have a bone to pick with you.
Uh-oh. Right off the bat.
Yeah,
So
right off the
this
bat.
It was
this
a
could
pretty
be like
bad
in
one, too.
stereo. I've got Lisa in one ear beating the crap out of me and you in the other. I got it in stereo. Go ahead.
No, our opening thing with the blast page that came on, you had up first, it said November 26th.
Whoa.
Yeah, it did.
Oh,
You're
back in
behind
time?
time. See?
We've gone back in time, darling.
oh,
Yeah, we're
Callie,
redoing that.
Are you
Because Brett
using one of
wasn't
them?
here.
Using one of them? Their new quantum computers?
Well, yeah, those
Yeah.
little newfangled angled ones.
You done took us back a week.
That kind of reminds me of the other night. I don't know. I've been we've got free HBO or whatever on our cable, and so and I never watch HBO. It's just like all the movies
It's
are
not
old.
free.
But,
It's not free, honey.
I was gonna say
Right.
free. Wink, wink.
hey, wait, no, isn't Obamacare's free?
Well, of course it is, and you get $2,500 with every purchase.
Yes, we got to say that. That's right.
That's right.
So I don't know. I taped all these movies and crap, and finally I just started watching them. And one of them was The Bourne Supremacy with
Great movie.
who's
Yes,
the
very
newer
nice.
guy that was in that? Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's in that, and about 3/4
Love
of
it.
the way through the movie, he's like, they're figuring out, okay, the blue pill is for intelligence, and the green pill is for like being super fast and strong. And he was like down to the very last one, and the girl, the doctor, she goes, well, why do you really need those pills? What's the deal? And they were in deep trouble. They were still like ready to go to Philippines. And he says, well, you see this picture of me on the internet? And it was like this dumb bumpkin country hick. And he goes, well, the thing is, the recruiter, he needed to make his numbers, and he gave me an extra 12 points. just so I can meet the minimum. If we don't take the pill, if I don't take the pill, we're in trouble. Like, I'm not too smart, he said.
So hold on.
I need to take a blue pill in order to do the damn show because I'm not.
I was
going to
say we all need to take our pill tonight.
I'm taking a pill right here.
Yeah.
I've got
a pill right here.
Moonshot right here.
Hey! Oh, hey!
Now I can think.
There you go. There you go. That pill's in liquid form.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really.
it is.
I got someone who needs some attention.
Look at that.
Oh. Oh. Now, did you give the poor dog doggy drugs tonight again?
I did. Well, they get Benadryl. They get.
I love the fact that you dope your dogs up. That is great.
They need Benadryl because they have allergies.
Oh,
So,
that's it. Yeah, they do.
It's
Because they're always
sanctioned by the
talking
vet.
about, you know, are your dogs allergic to dogs?
My dogs are allergic to the grass, but believe it or not.
Brett, you know you got your overlay on, right?
I know. I'm like, what are you doing, Brett? Why are we seeing some chicks?
Brett,
In the...
those are his daughters.
Oh,
those
those
are
are his
his
daughters?
daughters.
So, okay, let me see.
Yeah.
He's teaching them how
Okay.
to shoot and hunt.
You're a
That's
good
my little
dad.
one with her. That's my little one there with her first semi-automatic. That's my okay. That is. How do I explain who he is? That is Kelly in the background there, and he is the little girl sitting on the rock here. He's her dad. So these the two big ones are mine. And
yeah, little one on the rocks. Okay.
There's a little hidden, the one hidden on the rock. This is like one of those pictures they post on the Facebook and goes, look really
so right
close,
back here, there's a
and there's something
You see the
hiding
face?
in there.
Yep, exactly.
There's another child.
Absolutely. Now there are actually 12 children in that picture. Did you find them all?
Can you pick them out? I know, huh?
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was actually a great. That picture was taken up just outside of Heber in the Sitgrave National Forest, up on the Upper Rim in Arizona. Beautiful place. It's actually the town where, if you remember the movie Fire in the Sky.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys ever see that about the guy that supposedly got abducted by aliens, disappeared for like 3 days? They arrested the brother and the brother-in-law or something like that. And they had him arrested for murder because they figured they took him out somewhere and killed him. Then he just suddenly appeared. Well, that's the town. That's where he. I know I've actually got pictures of the phone booth where he literally made the phone call to authorities when he wandered back out of the wilderness. So it's actually kind of
beep?
it's actually kind of cool. And you talk to the locals up there, they'll tell you everybody has their UFO story. So it's a cool area though. It's really beautiful up there. Indian ruins. I mean, it's really neat place to hike around. Quite a ways from Prescott. You're in between Payson and Show Low would be your two bigger cities. You're heading out east. This is in eastern Arizona.
Okay.
So, but beautiful country out there. I mean, you can leave the cabin up there. You can walk out the door and you can walk maybe about half a mile, step over this crummy little fence, and you're in national forest. And you can just go shooting, whatever. It's great. Beautiful place.
Jim, you must be happy that Brett's back. You don't have to do all the talking this week.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Andrew's sad because he can't do any talking.
Andrew's like, just leave me alone until my spot comes.
Doggone it, why did I do this? I'm looking on my cell phone because I was going to share a picture with you guys, and it's probably just as well. Is it here?
I'm waiting for a tweet to come across.
Oh, who? From who? Oh, from Andrew.
Andrew.
Brett, did you know
my
that
phone's
Andrew?
better.
Oh, okay.
Brett, did you know that they have like tweet sessions during the show?
I did not know this. That's
yeah.
fantastic.
He just friended me last week.
The stuff that goes on during the show that we don't even know is going on.
I know. All the ins and outs and everything.
And then one time I
but
found
I
out
do have
that
my tablet.
One time I found out that Andrew had been like texting and messaging my daughter on Facebook. And I'm like, what? And my daughter goes, oh yeah, we're Facebook friends. We talk all the time. I'm like,
yep.
How do you know? So the picture I was going to show you was of some Cuban cigars. One of my brothers is hardcore lefty liberal, happy as a clam to be one, and I love him to death, even though he is. But no, I'm teasing.
No, I hate it.
I mean, I'm not teasing. I don't even know why I said that. That sounds so stupid. But anyways, funnier than crap. So last week, of all places and all things, I swear to God, him and his wife went to Cuba. You can't go to Cuba. His wife is Cuban. Her parents were born there, and she wanted to see where her parents had grown up and stuff like that. So you can't go to Cuba unless you actually have a living relative that you are going to stay with. Like, you can't go to Cuba as a tourist if you're American.
There's not a single.
If you're American.
Yeah, if you're American, you can't. Other parts of the world who are not, people can't. So anyway, and you got to go with your passport and all that stuff. So my brother was under the impression that they were going to stay with her relatives. And so about a day or two before they get there, she finally fezzes up. Well, when we get there, I don't really have any relatives that I know, and we're just going to figure it out. My brother's like, we're going to figure it out
in Mexico. Great.
Going to Cuba, we're going to figure it out.
Yeah, Cuba.
They wound up sleeping in their 1957 Chevy rental, didn't they?
He texted me pictures of these 57 Chevs, really, and I'm like, oh, those are all their brand new cars, right?
I know, no kidding.
No, it is. It is.
They had decent cars on the road besides all those.
But they do have. But Cuba does have some of the largest. It does have the largest population of vehicles built mid '70s back through the early '60s on the road and still functioning.
Well, they get there, and so she had made arrangements. So it turns out that the only way they could really get there was she knew somebody who actually lived there, and so she somehow got a hold of somebody's address and listed that address as the relatives, had this other person go to those people's home and say, hey, would you vouch for these people? Total strangers. The government officials did go to the house and say, are you having relatives come and visit, blah, 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 yes, all this stuff. So they show up there, and then the place where they were going to stay had no room. And so now it's 10 o'clock at night. They're in Cuba. They got nowhere to go. And they run into some guy, and he takes them around, and he drops them off at some old lady's house that he knows, like 85-year-old woman. And they ended up staying there for a few days. But he said they were the nicest people on the planet. And so they paid the lady to stay there and paid this guy to take them around. And then he took back all these Cuban cigars. He mailed them back. And they even had some in the suitcase. So
what?
Yeah, my brother's quite a talker. They show up in Miami. So he says to his wife, he goes, look, you got us into Cuba. You leave it to me, I'm going to get us out. So my brother, he's wearing...
You kidding me?
No, I'm not lying to you. My brother's wearing a Washington Huskies hat. Well, the Huskies played Miami in, I don't know, some big college football game or whatever, 10 years ago or something. National championship or something.
National championship years ago.
Yeah. And I forget who won or whatever, but Pat follows all that stuff pretty close. And so Pat walks right up to the customs guy. And he's standing there. He walks right up and he looks at him and he kind of looks down. He goes, don't say anything. He goes, it was a fair game. And you guys kicked our ass. That's my brother. He just walks right up and he goes, don't say anything. It was a fair game and you guys kicked our ass. The guy starts laughing. He goes, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. He goes, what's going on? He goes, oh, we just got back from visiting some relatives. We're on our way back home. He stamps him. He goes, get the hell out of here, Husky. Just like that.
There you go.
And they had stuff with them, but they never got checked. I don't know. That's pretty funny.
Wow. You know, so those several bricks of cocaine he sent me were really nice. I really appreciate him doing that. So
yeah.
Should I have not? Was that bad? I shouldn't have.
That's probably bad.
I was kidding about that. Just totally joking. God, I've got to.
But that,
Now you really know what an anal cavity search feels like.
Yeah. Speaking of pulling things out of your ass.
That's an absolute true story, though. They just got back from Cuba.
Yes, and you just implicated him in a crime too. That's fantastic, and that's great. That's great. Your liberal brother. Yeah. Well, listen, we'll see how he likes the
liberal brother. Yes.
We'll see how he likes the feds knocking on his door here in a half hour.
If let me make sure. Let me see that comment tracker. Yes, people can comment on the show. Yes, you can. You can do that. Boy, I sure love a latte. Well, that's not going to happen because.
Well, that's never going to happen. I mean, somebody would have to be watching, and can you imagine if a latte just showed up right now? That would be so weird.
Yeah.
So weird.
But see, Lisa's in there, and she's not watching. And I didn't pre-ask, hey, would you make me a latte before the show? Make it look like she was
send
watching.
her a message on Facebook just to let her know.
There you go.
She doesn't even do Facebook. You could say, oh, I know how we can let's try to get a latte this way. Andrew,
let's see
if this works.
We have another option for lattes?
We do. See if this works. Andrew, you send my daughter Crystal a message on Facebook. Say,
all right.
Hey, see if this works. Say, hey, your dad would like your mom to bring him a latte. He's doing this show right now. He would like to have your mom bring a latte. Could you text your mom?
Oh, can we? So we're actually going to have somebody from Canada get a hold of somebody in Hawaii. To contact your wife in Oregon.
Who's in the next room?
To bring to the next room to bring you a latte 18 feet away.
And we're going to see if it works.
This is going to be the longest. This is going to be the longest drive-through order ever. Yeah. I mean, this is impressive, actually. If this happens, this is technology at its best.
Yeah. Do you guys want to see? Okay, here's some stuff I got lined up. First of all, any of you guys have anything lined up? I know Brett and Andrew don't. Do you, Amy?
Well, I did have something, but but you
don't.
Go
okay,
ahead.
Good. I'd like to get to that. No, I'm just kidding.
I would. Hey, I will tell you this. For my section, for my little bit tonight, I want to set it up that I have a groundbreaking photo that I would like to share with you. It's literally, I pulled it off the JPL website, the NASA website. It is a picture from Mars from the rover in 2007. And we won't do it this week because I got to get into it, and I want to go over it with Jim a little bit. I sent you the picture, Jim, and you probably might have looked at it, maybe not, but
probably not.
Probably not. But I will pull it up, and we're going to go over it here in the conspiracy moment coming up here in the near future. But be prepared to get blown away because.
All right. So now that I was teasing Amy and I cut her off,
that's okay. That's okay. Do you guys remember Chief Mark Kessler?
I know the name.
He was a great football player.
Do you remember the name? No. Do you know the name?
Chief
Andrew,
Mark.
you may not know the name. Chief Mark Kessler.
He
was the chief of police in the town in Pennsylvania, and he came out and he was talking about anti-Obama stuff, and he ended up getting fired from his. What is Andrew looking at? What is he doing?
Nothing.
Oh, nothing. He's just laughing his head off. She must have replied back, Jim. She must have replied back.
Did he? Did she? Well, we'll find out. We'll see if I get one.
We'll see what happens.
So Chief Mark Kessler, who was fired as police chief by the city of Gilberton over photos, said libtard-hating ex-cop claims feds paid him to lure right-wing nut jobs with profane videos.
Yeah. So back then, way back when he first came out, he was like friending a lot of people on Facebook and stuff, and actually he friended me, so I'm like, okay, so is that good or bad? He friended me because he was trying to draw out all of the right-wing whack jobs who were like quote-unquote domestic terrorists.
Yeah.
And so he was friending a lot of people, and then he was going out and doing like these gun videos, saying, "Oh, come at me, and we'll take you all down." And he was acting like a really, far out right-wing loon who just wanted to take down the government. And what he was doing was luring in. And he won't say what agency he was with, but he was trying to lure in the the radicals, and he said he saved a lot of lives. Now I'm like, okay, so now it's going to be interesting. So this is just breaking. So this is going to be interesting because some people are saying, okay, does that mean that the U.S. government is now legalizing entrapment, and stuff like this? So
well, hey, did you know that the FBI? Did you guys know that the FBI has a 100% success rate in the last 5 years of foiling their own plots? They've done it's 100% success. I mean, do you know how much safer we are that they shut down their own plots that they set up? I mean, it's impressive what they've done. It's a perfect track record, and I think we should give them a thumbs up and credit where credit is due. I think it's only fair. So don't forget that.
I want to know.
Those guys are working hard to come up with ways to try to kill you and then stop it. And
Okay,
I think it's genius.
Because I'm a little slow, honestly. I'm probably 2 French fries away from being Gomer Pyle on most good days.
2 French fries away? I'm not sure what that is, but I like it.
Well, kind of like would you like me to fill that up, your gas tank, or would you like fries with that?
Man.
That's pretty much, if I didn't do what I was doing today, I'd be just probably qualified for that. So,
did you want to diet with your Happy Meal?
Yeah. Given that, I don't get it. I'm looking at the story here about this Mark Kessler. Is he saying now that he really isn't a right-wing guy? He's really a left-wing government.
Well, I think he's I don't know if he's left-wing. I still think he's
a shill.
He's still a conservative, but he was trying to, take down.
He was getting paid by the government,
quote-unquote, domestic terrorists
to find right-wing.
Roar them out. Yep.
People.
Do you realize
it's hard to find them? I mean.
Do you realize how scary that term is, too? That domestic terrorist term that you hear more and more every day. Because you know what? That means that let's see, everybody who fought in the Revolutionary War, they were domestic terrorists by this type of definition.
Yeah.
They were unsatisfied, and they recognized the government they had gone too far, had too much power, and it was up to the people to change that. And that's called a patriot in my world. But apparently our government would like to start referring to those types, and maybe I'm in that group as a domestic terrorist. And I think it's ridiculous. It's a term that is meant as derogatory.
Yeah.
It's disturbing.
Well, I mean, I guess I've said on my Facebook page, I'm not gonna. When people come out and say, "Let's kill the mofos," and let's march on Washington and string them all up, and I'm not gonna hit a like button on that. I'm not stupid enough to hit a like button on that. There are ways to do it, and there are ways to have a modern revolution without stringing people up, from the friggin' lampposts. But yeah, it's just kind of interesting because he was very popular in right-wing circles, and he had he's on YouTube. There's a lot of his videos out there, and he purposely went way overboard and made himself look like he was a right-wing nut job, and said some pretty. I mean, I'm not going to say that it sounded like a right-wing nut job. A lot of the things he was saying I agreed with. I just don't agree with killing people and violence and stuff like that. I don't agree with any of that stuff. So when he now comes out and he says, he was on the Alan Combs show. Oh God, I can't stomach that guy. He said, were you promised a job by someone in the federal government to do this? Kessler said, no, it was volunteer work. And Combs said, what were you in it for? And he said, I got to save a lot of lives, I can tell you that. So I don't know what that means. I mean, I suppose that, like anything, there are some whack jobs who will go out and just kill on the right and on the left to try and further their cause. I understand that, but this is going to be interesting.
This guy's saying that I saved a lot of lives. Let's just leave it at that. Well, okay, that screams God complex, self-righteous, and full of shit, quite frankly. It's like, okay, so let's define what you did. Show me the results of your actions. If you did something, if your actions, if your volunteer work made my life safer, I'd like to know how you did it, because we should all know that. So we all know the signs, but you're not willing to share that because you probably really didn't do that. That's my guess.
So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of it now, because that's kind of breaking news that Jimmy just brought up. So go out and watch some of the videos, and you'll see Chief Mark Kessler, Kessler, and you'll see some of the YouTube videos, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So he purposely went overboard to draw in all those whack jobs who always come. I mean, I've had people on my, what'd you say?
Nothing.
You got the Canadian making fun of your accent now, so there you go. I'm
That's
just not
pretty
sure
bad.
how
That
that
is
works.
pretty bad.
Oh, no. That is awful. That's not right. Hey.
Hey, we were here first. Well, no, actually Andrew was, so.
I'm responding to somebody who made a comment. We're trying to figure part of this stuff out, too, because when I turn on questions and answers, there's a section where people can give questions and we can give answers. And I'm the one that can see that, but
I can't see.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. And I think that what happens when we do that is it shuts off the comment tracker. Because I was watching somebody else's video on Google Plus the other day, and the guy goes, "Hey, great show, blah, blah, blah," to whoever he was talking to. He says, "But the problem is, man," he goes, "you had your questions and answers turned on, and it shut off the comment tracker." So I need to find out a little bit more about that. But because as of right now, I can look on YouTube and see this person's comments, and I can answer them and reply. But there's another way, too, and I'm going to try to let's see if I can get this link. Whoops.
Well,
Whoops is not a good sign.
I can't recommend what I just did.
Well, what would you do?
Well, don't right click on Q&A and then hit the recirc button, because it'll kick you right out.
Yeah, bounce right out.
Yeah, baby.
Right out.
Oh wait, that's
brought me right back though. But I mean, I'm not sure what that just did.
Huh. I'm gonna try one.
So what was the question, or what was the comment that the person made?
That we should really turn on our questions and answers.
Oh. Who was the person?
It was Andrew.
Yeah, it was Andrew.
Yes.
It was Andrew.
Damn it! Stay here.
Damn it, Jim!
Damn it, Jim! I can't freaking do this. I'm trying. Got it.
Really, he is.
Copy.
Got it?
Paste. Forget it. Forget it.
Friggle fraggin'.
Dang fraggle rocks.
Friggle fraggin'. All right, so here, I'm going to play this video. You guys want to see the absolutely coolest roller coaster in the world?
Well, yes. I mean, who wouldn't?
Okay, watch this. I should have added music to this. World's coolest roller coaster. That's another thing. Okay, I just upgraded my broadcast program. You remember how you could only have like basic white on there or green? But now look at some of the fonts I got.
Oh, cute.
Pretty cool. Whoops. Turn it down.
Where is this roller coaster?
It's virtual, but they're making it. They're making it.
It's virtual, so it's really scary.
Well, no, this is like the real plans for what this thing is. Wait, let me do this. Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna show it. It's basically just. They're up on this huge tower. They went up the tower.
That would be so much fun until it comes off the track.
No, but did you guys already hear about? No, I've seen this. I saw the story on it. 3 virtual people already died.
Yeah. Fell out.
So apparently there's
Andrew, I think it's magnetic. It works by magnetics, so you just can't have an EMP go off, because then you're really screwed.
What if there's a stun flare? I mean,
you're gonna go flying.
Just saying.
Oh, don't worry. The emergency backup is it brings out wings, and then you drop and glide.
The emergency backup is controlled by God. It's full of angels.
Right.
It certainly
Look
is.
at that. See this around a tower, kind of like what's that place in Las Vegas?
Yeah, that
Tower one.
That tower
the
place.
Space
thing.
Needle. Stratosphere, that is.
Well, this is
That would be
quite
so much
crazy.
fun until somebody shits themselves.
Oh!
or pukes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can shit themselves all they want. That's not flying in my face. The puking is
Look at that.
a problem.
Well, I don't know
That's-
about
that's-
that. Depends
that's
on how
true.
many G's coming around that corner.
Well, that's true. Exactly. Well, it might just plaster it right. It might just plaster it right back up into your ace.
There you
So-
go.
I don't know how, but it just went right back in. I don't know. Oh, look at that!
You
There
like
you
it?
go.
All right, everybody.
Oh, wait.
It's almost over.
Oh, I see. Is that the virtual credit card machine that just took $39 for this one ride?
Yeah.
I think it was.
At least.
No kidding, huh?
Yeah, I think it was.
Freaking
It was it.
insane, though.
Oh, I would do it. I mean, my younger daughter and I have a promise to each other that we are going to go out on a mission for the scariest roller coasters. It'll be one of our family trips one year.
Yeah.
We're gonna go
Where
travel
is that,
around.
Jim?
That?
It's in virtual reality.
Yeah, but where is
Yeah,
it going to be? Where are they building it?
I
Disney
don't know.
World.
A good
Is it
host
Disney
would
World?
have known that.
A good host would
good
put
host
stuff
would
up
have
and
known
have
that.
no idea
What's
what.
the Superman one over here in it's the giant like Superman
There is.
one?
There's a Superman. Yes, there is. They're in
I
Minnesota.
know
Or
we have
Michigan.
one. We have one over here in the East Coast too, somewhere.
Yep.
But
Yep. You do. I saw the that coaster show on the Travel
Yeah.
Channel or whatever. It's pretty cool.
yeah,
There are a lot of
I love
things I'd like to ride on.
roller coasters.
I hate them,
There's
but
a lot of
I
things
have
you
to
want
go on
to
them.
ride.
Scare me to death.
So, let me go back here.
Brett, do you understand what you just said?
What?
You said there's a lot of things I want to ride on.
Oh well, yeah, there is a lot of things I'd like to ride on. Sometimes.
James.
Get a
sometimes-
room, you guys.
And a lot of
Jesus
them
Christ.
are pretty scary.
Take this like. Do you guys just want to hang up now and go to your
Wow,
own
that's
session?
Well,
While
it
you're
is kind
going
of bedtime
Hey,
now,
it's
so
usually
yeah.
you guys.
I
It's
don't
usually
mind.
you guys who are the oinkers, not me.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you guys
Hey.
are perverts.
Yeah, you and your dirty.
And Andrew loves it.
Did you guys see the big douche rock?
What?
Did you see douche rock's comments? Chris Rock tells white people to own the actions of their ancestors. This just came out. And he says here, Chris Rock explained in a lengthy interview Sunday that he believes part of healing racial relations in America is by white people owning the actions of their ancestors. The black comedian told New York's Frank Rich that racial progress in America is nonsense and that the only thing that's changed is white people aren't as crazy as they used to be. And
Damn it,
how
I'm
many,
going to have to fix that.
how many people do you think went to most of his movies to make him that rich? White people or blacks?
Oh, of course.
So when we talk about race relations in America or racial progress, it's all nonsense, Mr. Rock said. Mr. Rock. There are no race relations. White people were crazy. Now they're not as crazy. To say that black people have made progress would be to say they deserve what happened to them before. Now, he does have a good point. White people are crazy for supporting this asshole.
He.
You're trying
my
to piss me
comments,
off
Ray.
tonight, Jim, aren't you?
You know, he's
Yeah.
Chris Rock so often has been one of my favorite people when it comes to the whole black-white thing because he's had
Right.
some, he's had some great in his stand-up and just some of his his overall comments. But I mean, I find it hard to believe that that we're not taking this one out of context. There's got to be a little bit more.
No, Frank Rich. Here's the whole thing. Mr. Rich, and Frank Rich is a legitimate reporter guy. Mr. Rich asked the comedian if white people are, quote, adjusting to a new reality, owning their actions, not even their actions. The actions of your dad, Mr. Rock said, yeah, it's unfair that you can't get judged by something you didn't do, but it's also unfair that you can inherit money that you didn't work for. So you know what my comment on that was when I saw this posted? Well, I sure feel sorry for his kids. Because
yeah, I was going to say, give
tells
away
me
his...
there that he's going to shred all of his money at the time of his death, and they're going to just have to figure it out for themselves.
No,
right?
no, he won't. No, he won't, James. No, he won't. He's going to give them, and they're going to inherit his money, and he's going to say that they deserve it. It's only
right.
white people who deserve it.
Yeah, but he's saying, yeah, but look at that. It's unfair to inherit money you didn't work for. So when asked for his thoughts on President Obama, Mr. Rock said, I'm sick of that, Mr. Rock said, everybody wanted Michael Jordan, right? We got Shaq.
He's right about that.
That's not a disappointment. You know what I mean? We got Charles Barkley. It's still a Hall of Fame career. So what he's saying is just because Obama didn't turn out the way that everybody had hoped, it's still a Hall of Fame career. The president should be graded on jobs and peace, of which there is none. And the other stuff is debatable. Do more people have jobs? He really thinks they do because so many people have dropped out of the workforce. And is there more peace? I don't know what the planet this guy lives on. I guess there's a little more peace. Not as much peace as we'd like, but, I mean, that's kind of the gig. So it's not that Obama's disappointing. It's just his best album might have been his first album. This dude is freaking a lunatic.
I've never liked him. I never will.
I've loved Chris Rock for a long time.
Always been borderline racist. I just never liked him. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So without finishing here, just because I haven't finished this, is Mr. Rock? Go ahead.
Please tell me you got Barkley's comments coming up next.
He argued that when he believed Mr. Obama should have done differently when he was elected president, when Obama first got elected, he should have let it all just drop. What? Just let the country flatline. Let the auto industry die. That's what the frickin' conservatives were saying. Right. Let these people bail themselves out. Don't bail anybody out. In sports, that's what any new GM does. They make sure that the catastrophe is on the old management, and then they clean it up. They don't try to save old management's mistakes. Maybe Obama should have let the plane crash. You get credit for bringing somebody back from the dead. You don't really get credit for helping a sick person. This guy is just freaking sick.
That's
Why
actually
did I play that?
That's actually a pretty good last statement, though. He's right about that. I mean, you don't really. Our presidents don't normally get credit for fixing something. Something has to be completely destroyed before you look at the president as a hero. And I mean, I don't know.
But he doesn't know why. He doesn't know why he's right. That's the problem.
Well, this is why I'm surprised by this.
Let the free market fix things by letting GM on their own and stuff like that, because Ford didn't take any money.
That's a very conservative viewpoint, by the way.
But he doesn't know it. He doesn't realize that he's being conservative.
Yep. Or he does, and you're just missing the whole point out of context. I'm not sure. So, I mean, I find it hard to think. Chris Rock is generally smarter than that, and, I don't know. I find that's a weird one for me. But you're right, though.
I'm staying with that headline right there.
Now let me ask you this. Okay. Let's just take this at face value. Chris Rock tells white people to own the actions of their ancestors. That's great. Okay, so ancestors. So let me ask you this, Mr. Rock. Do black folks take responsibility amongst themselves today for?
We're not picking all the field clean when I told you to.
Well, No. Do they? Wow, that was not where I was going. But I mean, do they take responsibility for their own community? Do they take responsibility for the people that are black on black crime, black on black death? Are they taking responsibility for their actions in the communities they live in, for burning down businesses, for rioting? Are they taking
wait. Let's go back. If you're going to talk about your ancestors, then why don't they take responsibility for being the people who actually gathered up the slaves, wiped out entire villages and families, and sold them to the white people who brought them over?
Guys, hold on.
You got a latte.
Oh, there it is. Hold on, get in there.
Oh. So it took.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Andrew.
That was amazing. There it is. That's the slowest drive-through ever, though. I will say that.
But it was the longest.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, that was originated in this room, sent to Canada, transferred to Hawaii, and back to the next room over so that I could get a latte. Yeah.
But if she comes back and smacks you upside the head, don't blame me.
Yeah.
Oh,
that one wasn't me.
Now, Amy is she's on fire here about something, because what she's saying is that, if I'm correct in what you're saying, is his ancestors, if you're going to take responsibility for your ancestors, his ancestors were the ones that cut the deal with the guys on the ship to put their brothers on the boat.
And their enemies and the tribes that they fight against, they're the ones who were selling the slaves to the, in the east to the Muslim nations, and in the west to, England, France. Well, not France so much early on France, but then United States, Spain, all the islands. So if you want to go out, you want to take responsibility for your ancestors' actions, then you go back to Africa and you start there with those tribes who sold your ancestors to my ancestors to begin with. Actually, my ancestors came down from Canada. So I don't have any white guilt whatsoever. My great-great-great-grandfather fought at the Battle of Antietam for the North, fought against the South, and we all came down from Canada, where there was the free haven for runaway slaves. So I have absolutely
stop because my ancestors paid too much and I want a refund.
I got zero white guilt.
I want the interest on that.
Zero white guilt here. None. I don't take responsibility for anything that anyone, generations ago have done. I just don't.
I
would take responsibility if I continued it. If I continued to do it today. Andrew.
That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite arguments in the whole slavery thing. Is like, well, okay, all white people are blamed for slavery. But at the same time, wasn't there a strong contingency? As a matter of fact, that contingency actually wound up winning the Civil War. But wasn't there a strong contingency of white folk who said, you know what, this is wrong, we shouldn't be doing this, and their voices were not heard until force had to be used, and eventually it became one of the motivating factors of the Civil War. It wasn't the only factor, but it was one of the motivating ones. And it became a moral issue of the time, and morality won out. And morality didn't. I mean, it wasn't the black folks that stood up and said, "Hey, this is wrong." Right. It was white folks that stood up and said, "Hey, this is wrong. We've got to stop this." And yet, everybody's lumped in. It's like, you know what? I'm not going to take responsibility for what those people did, those other white folk did, because I would have been in the North, and I would have probably been a type of guy. At least I hope I would have been, because I don't know, because it's all fantasy, because we're just making shit up at this point. But I probably would have been the type of guy that would have said, "This is wrong." And we shouldn't.
Well, I'm not making shit up. My great-great-great-grandfather did actually fight in Antietam for the North. So.
Right, but
I'm not making anything up. I owned a colored TV.
Oh my gosh, you're a horrible person, man.
I just want to say that I watched Megyn Kelly tonight, and I watch her, and I do like her, and I know you guys all have a heart on over her. But the fact that.
Hold on. Oh, you said Megyn Kelly.
I don't even know who it is.
People like that who are very popular continue to say African American. I mean, most blacks that I know call themselves black. They don't call themselves African American. They're not from Africa. They're more American than I am. So when you put that hyphen, when you do that hyphenation, you separate them out. If you want to be inclusive, they're Americans first, and their race is second. And that's the way it should be. I don't go around calling myself Franco-American. I grew up in a Franco-American.
Franco-American.
It's French-American. Franco-American is, the neighborhood that I grew up in was all French Hill, French church, French everything. Sacre bleu. Sacre bleu.
Did you say suck my boobs? That's what it sounded like.
Oh. Oh my word! Is that a
Andrew? No, you cannot suck my boobs. Okay.
Well, that's what it sounded like.
Randy's gonna come in and bop you in the back of the head now.
Yeah, somebody's gonna get bopped.
Hey,
but you know what I'm saying?
Hawaii?
I don't call myself a white American. I don't call myself a Franco-American. I call myself an American. And the sooner we stop calling them African Americans, and
I'm not calling anybody African American unless I know that they.
Now are we going to talk about
Africa?
Now, right on the tail of that Chris Rock expose there, are we going to talk about what Charles Barkley said about Ferguson?
No, unless you want to. If you want to put it up, and here's why. Because Charles Barkley always says the right thing about this stuff, and so I thought it was boring because he wasn't boring. I don't mean to say that. It wasn't new news. We know that Charles Barkley always.
Right. Yeah, but he did. Okay. But it was interesting that he did say, you have to stop bashing the police. Like I say, there are some bad cops, there are some good cops, because who do you call when you need help? You call the police.
And I tell my daughters this: don't ever call the police. Don't ever call them. It'll make things worse. Do not ever call the cops. Ever. Do not call them. Don't ask for their help, because they will show up.
Bad advice.
No, it's not bad advice at all. As a matter of fact, I had a quote.
Depends on the situation.
I had a quote today, and on a friend of mine who I give a lot of credit to, and I'm going to paraphrase what he said. He said, I would like to think that I'm at least as smart as Officer Darren Wilson. So you know what? We need to stop calling the police, and we need to start learning how to defend ourselves. And I was like, that makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, I'm at least as smart as the dumbest of cops. I'm at least that smart. And if those are the guys that I'm calling when there's an issue, maybe I need to learn to let them just stay wherever they are, and I need to handle things myself.
Well, I don't consider Darrell Wilson a dumb cop. I think he was actually quite a smart cop. But it depends on the situation. You know what I mean? Like, the fact of the matter is, if you call a cop, someone's probably going to get arrested and go to jail.
Right.
And it could be
They're going to make things worse.
It could be you,
make things worse.
or me, or whoever calls. So you have to think twice before you call the police department. But
absolutely.
And remember,
I had to call them today. I had to call today because I almost got killed on my way to work. True story.
What'd you do?
What? What'd you do?
Two giant wild turkeys were running around in traffic, and people were jacking up their cars. And all of a sudden, I'm jacking up my car, and the guy behind me almost slams into me, rear ends me. But he went around just in time. Giant turkeys.
Are you referring to black males as turkeys now?
Oh my God!
That's rude. That's absolutely inappropriate.
In that town, it would be Indian. It would be Indian men.
Oh, that would be okay. Gosh. Holy cow! Be careful with those statements.
So I had to call the police department to let them know that there are 2 live turkeys running around. Almost causing car accidents. So maybe there is a time,
Those might be the 2 that Obama pardoned.
Yeah. Oh, it could have been. Yeah. They were down there heading to the riots. They were on their way.
Let me explain to you why Brett tells the daughters not to call the police. This is who you call when you've got problems.
Ghostbusters?
Yes. That's right. That's good coffee. Oh.
Okay, first thing, you two. Think the body's sticking in the trunk. Now, Jimmy, This looks to be a pretty domesticated house. That will lead me to believe that in the garage, you under the sink, you got a bunch of cleaners and cleansers and shit like that.
Yeah, Mr. Wilson.
Good. I need you two fellas to do is take those cleaning products and clean the inside of the car.
Have you seen this, Amy?
Fast.
Yeah.
You need to go in the back
Andrew?
seat, scoop up all those little
I won't play
pieces
the whole
of
thing.
brain and skull. Get it out of there.
Oh yeah.
Wipe down the upholstery. Now, when it comes to upholstery, you don't need to be spick and span. You don't need to eat off it. Just give it a good once over. What you need to take care of are the really messy parts. The pools of blood that I've collected, you got to soak that shit up.
It's not like people barking orders at me, that's all.
If I'm curt with you, it's because time is a factor. I think fast, I talk fast, and I need you guys to act fast if you want to get out of this.
Anyways,
So, pretty please, with sugar on top.
Yes.
that's why you don't
Brett.
call the police. You
Let me
handle
let me
it.
clarify. I think Brett, that's you're 100% correct that we should be able to defend ourselves first and foremost. We should not rely on police officers to come and defend us or to save the day, because it's already too late if you're But I don't think
General,
that people
yeah.
should be afraid of police officers. That's very bad. I think that's just a very bad precedence to set.
That's
To make
the problem.
to make every police officer a
That's
bad
the
guy,
problem.
because they're not.
You shouldn't have to be afraid of the police officers. That's
And
the
most
problem.
people aren't. Look how many police officers there are, and it's not like everywhere you go, every time you see a police officer, they're not like body slamming people.
Well, look at it. Look at it.
Those get glorified, and those get
They
those
are
get
one
Look at
They're
it this way. What I'm really trying to
second
express:
away.
live your life in such a way that you never have to have them around.
right. I agree, 1,000%.
That's just a better way to be.
I agree 1,000%.
I'm
I
driving
just don't.
I'm driving down the road. It's a couple months ago. I'm driving down the road. I'm stopped at a stoplight, and on the corner, I'm getting ready to take a right. And on the corner at the gas station is a motorcycle cop. And so I turn the corner, and he pulls me over immediately and tells me I'm not wearing my seatbelt. I'm like, yeah, I was wearing my seatbelt. I'm still wearing my seatbelt. You know I'm not wearing. How I know? Because if I'm not wearing the seatbelt, the damn thing's going ding, 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 ding. Right? There's a bell in the freaking car.
Right.
You know you're wearing a seatbelt. And it wasn't behind me because you would have saw me go like this and turn around.
Right. Exactly.
Right. So he says, when you turn the corner, you went like this.
Oh,
Pulled your
brother.
hand over and looked, and you saw me. You look like you got caught doing something wrong. Well,
Oh, Mike, you gotta be kidding me.
Did I do something wrong?
Did you do that? Did you put it on only when you saw her?
No. I'm driving like this with my laptop on the steering wheel. So when I saw him, I went. Put it on the seat.
Okay. See, so behind every single stop.
And the only
there's
reason why he
usually
was telling you
some
that
reason.
is because he was talking to me on Ovu. That was
I
the only
probably
reason.
was.
Yeah.
You probably would.
Okay, so-
See? So
Okay, guys, I would like to read this quote. This is the quote I was trying to paraphrase, and I do want to read this real quick. It says, this is from Ian Davlin. I said, "Are you tired of police brutality? Well, there's a simple solution. Buy a gun, buy a knife, learn martial arts, and quit outsourcing your own security. Look in the mirror. You were probably at least as smart as Darren Wilson, and that guy got to carry a gun." I love that. I just think that's exactly right.
Who said that?
that's true.
It's a friend of mine that is a friend on Facebook, and we've known each other for quite a few years, but I love that sentiment. Quit outsourcing your security. You're at least as smart as Darren Wilson, and that guy got to carry a gun. So, I mean, come on. I think that's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
True.
I just think it's a very dangerous precedent to make all cops the bad guy.
They make
Well,
themselves the bad guys.
See,
by
I don't see. I've
all
never.
right.
I'm going to be
Right.
50 years old, and I have only been pulled over by a cop once, and I am a speed demon. I am a speed demon, and I go through East Bumfuck towns that they have nothing better to do
That's 'cause
than
you're-
to
it's 'cause
sit there and watch and sit
because
there and
you're-
watch.
It's because you
You're a
outrun
white
them.
female.
That's why they haven't
You're a
stopped.
white female.
Bull,
You're a
bull,
white female.
bull. I'm a speed demon. I've had red cars. I've had an SUV. I have the impeach Obama on the back.
I
I
know
have all
what she
kinds of
does.
things.
She goes like this as she goes by, and yeah, that's right. Don't pull me over.
I cut people off. I've never had to use my boobs. I've only been pulled over once. It was for passing on the right, and he pulled me over at the friggin' red light.
You know
so
what?
That was just because he needed to write a ticket.
Now that you say all that, I'm calling in a random call. There's a red SUV out there driving crazy. I don't know.
Crazy.
Don't look. I think she's drunk. It's only 9 a.m.
I get in front of every minivan there is. I don't care if I have to cut them off because I know that most 75% of them voted for Obama, so I have no respect and I don't care about cutting them off.
Wow.
And I have never once been stopped by a police officer. Never once. Never once. Never been
knock on wood.
Knock on Formica.
Knock on wood.
By next show, she's going to tell us every single day she was.
Well, no. Here's next week. Folks, we'd just like to make an announcement. All Out Amy will be incarcerated for the next 13 years, and yeah.
Amy,
and here's all their tickets.
Amy, can you?
Tickets.
Can you take a guess or two what that means?
Let's see.
Damn white men.
Dumb white males.
You're all close, except we were just talking about something.
Driving while male.
Yes! Driving while male.
Yay!
You could get a ticket at any moment. Black or white, doesn't matter.
Yep.
Female?
But
yes,
usually, you are in the wrong based on the law, right?
God.
No, right? I mean, am I correct? Usually, just because we don't like the law doesn't mean that they are not correct for pulling you over.
That's beside the point.
Besides the point. Oh, okay.
Since we're on the female comedians right now, we should probably listen to Jody Miller.
Oh, well, okay then.
Oh, come on, Amy. Amy, I'm with them. In a couple weeks.
Yeah, you're going to come back and say, look at all the tickets I just got.
Yeah.
No ticky. No ticky for me.
Let's see what Jody Miller has to say.
They have bigger fish to fry than everyday Joe Schmo.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to News Busted. I'm Jody Miller.
Hi,
Let's
Jody.
get started. Black Friday stampedes were reported at stores all across the country. Shoppers from coast to coast were trampled like the Oakland Raiders' defense.
So true.
As mentioned, Black Friday shopping got out of control last weekend. Things became so bad the UN held a special session and voted to send in peacekeepers.
Oh, I thought they were going to say because they were black.
Last week, Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel announced he is stepping down. Insiders say Hagel was fired because he's taking ISIS too seriously. Following the grand jury's decision in Ferguson, Missouri, President Obama said, "We are a nation built on the rule of law." Then Secret Service agents wrestled him to the ground and said, "What have you done with the real President Obama?" Ray Rice won his appeal against the NFL and is now free to play professional football again, so long as he doesn't try to T-ball while on the field. According to a new poll, 37% of Americans approve of Obamacare. These 37% must still not realize that when Obamacare architect Jonathan Gruber called the American people stupid, he was talking about them.
That was good.
In Colorado, marijuana dispensaries offered discounts for what they called Green Friday. Apparently the savings were so great, some potheads actually got out of bed before noon.
Wow, that's impressive.
And finally, a 17-year-old boy from Brazil has officially been named the fastest texter in the world. When he won the title, he then looked up at his parents for the first time in 4 years. Thanks for watching News Lesson, everybody.
Thanks, Jody.
Hi, Jody. Thank you.
Thank you, Jody. Thanks for coming, Jody.
I can't believe she lets us rip her off every week. That's just,
yeah.
Wait. No, that's.
I've played and going to play so many videos in the rest of the show that we are definitely going to get third-party content.
I know, right? Including the opening. Are you ready to roll? Listen, we're not ripping them off. We're promoting them. We are promoting them.
Do you know that every single week after the show's over, a couple hours once it gets processed, I have to go back in and do an acknowledgement for third-party acknowledgement, or nobody can watch our show?
Are you serious?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always have to go
It
back into
happened 1 week.
Facebook. And, yeah. And then
Oh,
now I'm
that's great.
remembering that I got to go back in and do a third-party acknowledgement.
I did not know that. I did not know that.
There's a
That
lot
is
of things that go on
that is
behind the
wacky
scenes.
stuff.
One thing I just want to go back to one quick thing on the, Obama's now requesting the $75 million for 50,000 police body cameras.
Yeah.
So everyone thinks this is a great idea because then everything's on, on record and the police
Right.
can't get away with anything and blah 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 blah. But they also said that now it's also going to bite you in the ass because for as many times as cops let people go for minor infractions, they now will not be able to let you go because it's on camera. They're going to have to arrest you for like driving with a laptop on your lap, Jim. Something like that.
That's not
That
illegal.
he would never do. It's not.
It's
By the
not
way,
illegal.
no, it's not illegal.
Excuse
No, it
me?
is not. It is not illegal.
You can't,
It is not illegal.
you can't talk with the cell phone in your hand.
Right. But there is nothing that says, listen, a woman, how many times have you looked up in your rearview mirror and there's some chick back there looking up and she's doing her makeup while she's
Doesn't
driving?
mean it's legal. They can pull you over and give you a ticket for driving while being distracted.
Distracted. It's distracted driving, but there's no specific statute that says you can't have a laptop in your lap.
A professional.
Now, mind you, I'm a professional, exactly. I'm on the road probably more than any cop out there, and I have to deal with stuff all day, or calls all day. I get calls all day, probably 10 times more than any cop, because cops don't have to deal with the crap I have to deal with. I got a rough life, and I'm telling you right now, you don't want to mess with my world. But I will say this.
And
The next time
nobody
you're
can know
walking
it, right?
around with 2 joints instead of 1 or something,
they've got
you're
a
going to have to
radio.
go to jail.
They've got a radio. They've got they've got a screen right there, a laptop screen right there, sitting mounted. It's mounted, for God's sakes, while they're driving.
A mounted
Yeah,
lap.
but it's not balanced on their
Yeah, those guys aren't streaming episodes.
balancing.
Those guys aren't streaming episodes of Cops while they're driving down the road, going, yeah, that's me, yeah.
If I didn't
Of
use my
course they
laptop,
are.
if I didn't use my
What'd you?
laptop during the day, if I didn't use it during the day while I was
intoxicated
driving, when I got home, I would have like 80 or 90 of those little Facebook message icon things.
Oh, that would be horrible. Can you imagine?
Oh my God!
Can you imagine?
My God!
Can you imagine if Jim did not keep up with all of his Facebook posts throughout the day while he was driving?
Oh
Do you realize the
my
damage that
God! OMG!
the cultural ramifications. The cultural ramifications of that. Absolutely.
All right, so here we go. Miscellaneous stuff. We all saw this.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
okay. There's this conservative blogger or whatever, she's on Facebook, and she had posted something, whatever, and so I put this picture on, and it says maybe they'll wear brass knuckles in support of Ray Rice when he plays his first game back. Freaking dumbass thugs. And so some guy posts in there, and he's mad at me for saying, "Oh, so now you're equating domestic violence with the murder of an innocent, no, the government murder of an innocent
So
civilian."
sick of that narrative.
Yeah, I just went, I'm like, dude, I said, so you're actually still one of the people that believes that his hands were up, even though 50 black witnesses all said his hands weren't up? He was bent over charging? I'm sick of this. The Congress people,
Well,
did you see the four Congress people? Their hands up in Congress?
They should be
Morons.
shot. These guys here, I was just looking for the article. They all have criminal records themselves. These guys all have criminal
Do
records.
they? Well,
Yeah, I was looking up the article.
look at this. Black St. Louis police officers, hands up gesture by Ram players were commendable. Are you freaking kidding? No, they're probably not kidding. There's such a divide among, I don't know. Anyways, all right, so that's miscellaneous.
They said the St. Louis Police Department is like up in arms about it.
That's good. Up in arms about it.
No pun intended.
Bada boom, she'll be here all week.
Yeah,
Here's a
baby.
story that came out earlier in the week. Oil and gas prices in free fall as OPEC reels from fracking boom. It's like, hello, who said drill, baby, drill, right? And everyone says they're freaking idiot. Well, here you go. It's happening.
Well, yeah, I actually just got a couple of messages on Facebook from my friend who was last week, who was on the ground in Ferguson, and he's saying we've just been declared, we just had war declared on us, and that piece of crap Congress and POTUS are going to do nothing because Saudi Arabia says OPEC is allegedly trying to squeeze out the American shale boom by keeping prices below $70 a barrel.
That's good.
It's good.
Because we went under $1 a liter.
Now, by the way,
what the hell's a liter?
Now, Amy, did you? I don't have no. I think a liter's like 19 gallons. I'm pretty sure it equates to that. So it's a really good price for them.
It equates to 3.5 liters. 3.5 liters equates to 1 gallon in your metric system.
So $3 a gallon. God, that's not even good. Whatever. Hey, listen, you and your frickin' metric system or whatever. I don't even know what that is. Hey, now, did you see? You were talking about the shale, the oil that's coming out of the United States right now, and we're producing more. We're actually putting more on the market than we ever have in basically in the last like 50 years or something like that. But it is sustainable down to $42 a barrel. We'll still make a tidy profit, so they can keep going. They can keep going all the way down to 50 if they want, and they're still making a decent profit per barrel. So the bottom out point is $42, and if they want to go ahead and drop it down to that, let them do it. It's only good for the consumer for the time being. And it also goes to prove too that if you haven't looked into abiotic oil or have no idea what I just said, you need to look it up. So
abiotic oil.
Abiotic oil. Look it up.
Next week, don't come to the show unprepared again. Bring abiotic oil with you.
We will talk about abiotic oil next week. That is let's discuss abiotic oil next week because
I want to know about it.
You'll be fascinated by it.
I am already.
Well, I mean, I think the point is that if they keep lowering, if Saudi Arabia keeps lowering their prices and OPEC keeps doing that, there won't be such a need for us to be as energy independent.
But
you guys want to keep going.
Hold on. You guys realize they're not lowering the price. They're refusing to cut their production. There's a difference.
Right, but here's the thing that we cannot get lulled into a false sense of, hey, we don't need to frack anymore. We don't need to drill anymore. Look, the prices are coming down.
Well, that's
we need
the point.
to push ahead even harder. I mean, damn sure that it stays that way. And so here's the thing. We all saw me post this. Jeb Bush, no or hell no?
Can you imagine if that happened?
Oh my God.
Can you we might as well have like Jeb Bush and Hillary as his running mate. I mean, that would be
as the vice president. I know.
All right, I got a little video here for you guys.
Go on.
Entitled,
I know.
What would you do in this situation?
Brett froze on a gun pointed at his head.
Oh, he did, didn't he? I like that. All right, check this out. You guys will like this video. What would you do?
What would you do?
Let me hit play.
Freedom isn't free. There's a hefty fucking fee.
Look at the little kid. The mother behind him. That's the mother behind him. Oh, honey. Bang, bang. Hit the knee. Hit the knee. Bang, bang. Now the kid's crying.
Oh, now he's crying.
I thought that was funny. That was the video.
Idiot mother.
I'd probably do.
The mother wouldn't stop the kid from banging that thing into the woman's leg.
Idiot mother. She deserved to get the crack over the head, not the kid.
Way, parents these days are so scared of actually. I would have ripped that kid back about 2 feet and been like, "What the hell you think? You knock it off." And then I would have gotten a child abuse. Somebody would have called. And you can't even tell the kid to knock it off anymore. They have no lines, no limits anymore.
Yep.
I mean,
That's
duct
liberals
tape,
for you.
duct tape, and a severe beating for every child every day. Come on.
All right, I'm debating whether to watch this
Just
whole
saying.
thing or not
Throwing
because
it out there.
we've all seen this, so maybe I'll fast forward through a bit, but maybe other people haven't seen it. But it's pretty good. Here it goes.
You don't say anything, okay?
He's talking to his kid.
Come here.
Did you see this, Andrew?
Yeah.
Come here.
Brett?
No, I have not
Hey,
seen
sir.
this.
Okay, watch
my
this.
son like to meet you. He really admires guys in the Army.
Hey, buddy, I'm Sean.
What unit were you in?
I'm with the 2nd Battalion Rangers.
75th?
We're 75th Ranger Regiment, 2nd Battalion.
What's your MOS?
My MOS is 11 Bravo.
All right.
I'm what's called a tactical. All I do is I go out on missions.
Where'd you get your 3 CIVs at?
Afghanistan,
All 3?
all 3.
You know you need to be in 3 different campaigns to get 3 CIVs, right?
This one was from Afghanistan.
Okay.
That's from Iraq.
Okay.
And that was from my 2nd rotation back to Afghanistan.
You know, no matter how many you do, you can only get 1. For Iraq, Afghanistan, all 3, you can only get them. You know, right?
My campaign took me outside of mission lines from Afghanistan.
That doesn't make any sense. And you're in 2nd Bat Rangers?
Yep.
There it is. Where's your combat patch at?
I gave it to a little kid again.
All right, why's your flag so low on your shoulder? It should be up here.
Got me on
He's
that?
bagged.
Got me on that one.
Your boots are all glass too.
Because I literally just got home
From where?
from Fort Lewis.
Fort Lewis? Is that where the Rangers are?
That's where we're stationed.
How come, where's your shirt underneath? Your tan t-shirt. What's your rank?
I'm a staff sergeant.
Staff sergeant. Where'd you go to basic training?
Fort Jackson.
Fort Jackson? You know, the infantry only goes to Fort Benning, right?
Yeah, for Ranger training.
Yeah.
No, for basic training.
No, I didn't start off as a Ranger, as infantry.
You didn't. What'd you start off as?
I started off as a M1, as a driver for Humvees.
What's the actual MOS for that, for a driver?
My driver MOS, hold on 1 second. Thanks, Mark.
Staff sergeant. He's called a staff sergeant. Why is he calling a staff sergeant if he's already a staff sergeant? That doesn't make much sense.
Hey, where are you?
No, he was saying it about himself. Like, hey, this Jim, staff sergeant.
Yeah.
That's the bad thing.
He's calling
He is pretty
staff
quick.
sergeant staff sergeant. When
He's pretty
wearing the
quick
rank
with
of
his
staff
answers,
sergeant.
though.
That makes much sense.
That's what
Here
this
it is,
guy
guys.
said.
Stolen
That, you know,
Valor at its
the
finest.
guy that busted him. He's like, at first he
Wearing
was
United
good. He was
States
really
Army
good.
uniform.
The
Claims
guy,
to be United States Army Ranger.
Okay, listen, what we're going to do is we're going to step down here
Okay.
with my sergeant major.
All right, let's go. Let's see your sergeant major. So you shop at the mall with sergeant major on Black Friday?
Sometimes.
Yeah. That's cool. Why don't you just admit you're a phony?
Yeah.
You know it's illegal, right? What you're doing right
Let
now?
me tell you something. If I was a phony,
Yeah.
then I wouldn't be wearing the shoes.
You wouldn't?
No.
Because you are a phony. I just called you out about 10 different things, and all of them are bullshit. This is illegal. What you're doing right now is illegal. Because you know what? I've worn that fucking uniform, and I've had friends get killed in Afghanistan wearing that fucking uniform. No, you haven't. You're full of shit.
12 years in.
Stolen valor. Right here. Stolen valor.
Let's go.
And it's fine. What's your name, dude?
guy's wife is
Okay.
embarrassed.
Thanks, buddy. See you later, pal. Go have fun with your sergeant major at lunch. Fucking asshole.
All right, now this guy, I didn't
Oh.
see the next part or whatever. I didn't read but that guy who shot the video was like called up by some TV newscaster or some big show or whatever. They wanted
Yeah,
to
he's been
interview the
on.
guy.
He's been on Fox twice, yesterday and today.
That's funny. So
yeah, my
at the
guy,
end-
my guy posted that a few days ago because he's a ranger, and
yeah.
he's like, oh, he just loves
If
it.
that guy was actually for real, he would. I would if I got called out for stolen valor and I was actually legitimate, I would have made damn sure to come back somehow with the news or whatever that said, hey, some guy he's calling me out on YouTube, blah blah blah. Here's all my people. I'm legit. So obviously he wasn't.
Well, he wasn't
What?
because of those things that he called out.
What the hell?
They
was
would
his
never wear the-
motivation? What was his motivation?
Black Friday specials for veterans.
Oh,
Right.
brother.
Yeah, you go to the
That's
mall.
how scummy they are.
Right. You go to the mall in your uniform, and you're going to be treated well. Hey, come to the front of the line. You get discounts. You get
Oh
whatever.
yeah, like 80% off
white
and stuff.
trash. Yeah, guys, freaking white trash. White trash. So going from that, I'm going to go to a good.
There's a
story
whole.
that
By the
we
way,
got
there's
to
a
like.
whole network of people that run a website, and they're all military, and they
Called
keep track
Stolen
of all
Valor.
this stuff, and they bag them. They call the people that they supposedly report to. They make sure that they.
I'll bet you money that guy was National Guard or something, or has some sort of very small understanding of what the whole system is. I mean, I couldn't have answered any of those questions. I mean, if I had that thing on and he would have called me out, I'd been like, I don't know, I would have had no idea because
Well, they're good though. They know they have to know some stuff because they know that most people don't know where those patches go and stuff like that.
I could see that guy having served at some small level and maybe getting kicked out or didn't complete anything or left dishonorable
or maybe his brother or uncle or cousin
he knew something about the system.
A friend, somebody, because he had.
Well,
answers,
I don't. Yeah, but they all do. If you look at those, if you go to that site and you look at all of those videos, they all have some of the information. I mean, one guy had like Marine Corps pants on with like the grunts jacket. I mean, just ridiculous combinations. My brother's a Marine. Is like, oh my God, look at his pants. Oh my God, look at the shoes he has on with us. Oh my God, look at the belt. Look at how he's wearing his belt. That's not real. They know instantly when you've gone through that, but you and I wouldn't necessarily pick that up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they so they know it right off the top of their head. They can see it. They are actually trying to bag him. They have I guess the Attorney General of his state looking into it to see if they can bring charges against him. So I don't think he was in the military in any way, shape, or form. But we'll see. We'll find out.
Bring charges against the guy who was holding the camera?
No, for stolen valor.
Oh, okay. Gonna say, geez, mini Christmas. All right, here's the story that we're gonna play that is totally opposite, and it'll finish the night off. Actually, let's do this first. I'm going to do fun picks real quick because I want to finish the thing on a good note.
Where'd Brett go? I'm not done arguing with him yet.
Brett, you there?
Oh, you want to argue, do you? You want to argue? I'll give you some arguments. I'm going to go over to
Andrew, you're too quiet tonight.
We're going to have some arguments over here.
Quiet.
No, his brain's going. What?
Put the other one back.
It's the Michael Brown shooting protest 100% off sale. Everything must go.
Did you see the poor bastard that the guy that he harassed to begin with, his store, the video of his store being looted? Yep. They were like pouring in like friggin' zombie cockroaches.
Oh, did you see that? And they all came climbing right over the counter. I was thinking to myself when I watched that, I'm thinking, shit, that's like a whole bunch of rats or something coming over. That was crazy.
It's exactly what it is, though. I mean, it's
screaming through the door.
Sick. Yeah. I'm here to help.
Funny you should put that picture up. There was that kid, that young kid, the one that was killed in Ferguson.
Yeah.
They say that, what was his name, DeAndre Joshua. They still don't know why he was killed because now the family claims he was not an eyewitness. But he was friends with the other dirtball who lied and said that Officer Wilson was shooting Michael Brown in the back.
So you're saying that the black kid who was shot in the car a couple blocks away, he was shot several times, like murdered. He was friends with the lying kid, with Michael Brown's friend.
Yep.
Really?
And they said they set him on fire. He had accelerant all over his body, and they tried to burn his body while he was in the car. So
that's
something went
weird.
Down.
That's
They're
weird.
saying where's the mystery? That's the mystery of Ferguson, and his family's like, you know,
You think
what's
that
going on.
guy had threatened or something to come out and say that DeAndre or whatever that guy, who's the guy, who's Michael Brown's friend? DeAndre something?
Dorian Johnson.
Dorian Johnson. Maybe he was going to threaten to say, hey, Dorian Johnson told me he lied. You know, I'm coming forward. So they burned him up. Killed him.
I don't know.
Could be. Could be.
That is a mystery, but nobody's giving a crap about him, right?
Right. I'll be signing a new executive order replacing the word looting with undocumented shopping. Yes. In other news, not a single pair of work boots has been looted in Ferguson. I got a
bump.
Can't see that, huh? Couple more here. Saw this the other day when I'm pissed off with the government. My first thought isn't to steal a 60-inch plasma TV.
No kidding. So ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
And finally, the dawn of the
credibility. Yeah, that's awesome.
1978, Black Friday. Isn't that great?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Same thing.
And then, all right, I wasn't gonna do this, but I'm gonna bring in one just because. Shouldn't do this, but it's on a serious note. It's not funny at all.
Do this. I shouldn't do
Well,
this.
it's not.
I'm going to do it, and yet I'm going to do it.
It's not. You'll see why. It's not funny. It's
I
not
should
whatever.
definitely not be this racist.
Only one Black Friday offers eternal savings. Now it's funny to say with the caption, but it is true.
Right.
Yep.
Just saying, people.
Well, there you go. That's there you go. All right then. Oh, and my biggest conspiracy theory is going to come that Jesus actually never died. We're going to do that story one of these nights. So no, I've got proof. I've got some stuff.
He was a soul man.
No. He was close, but he never passed away actually. So, and I've got proof. So we'll talk about that here coming up to completely destroy the Christian faith.
So that,
all right.
that totally destroys the atheist view that we just follow a zombie.
Oh no, it destroys everything, but it doesn't change the message though. See, that's the beauty of it. You just have to understand it from the proper perspective.
No. You're teasing right now, right?
Oh no. I have biblical proof.
Start right now. We'll finish this off later, but start right now. I want to. I want to deal with this.
You have to hold on until next week.
You're gonna have to hold on until next week, but I can cover it. Dude, I can put together a little something for you.
Number one, you said you have proof. That's impossible.
It's right in the Word. It's right in the Bible. The clues are all there. The clues are all there.
Why do you need clues if it's fact and you've got proof?
You'll find out next week.
Okay, I will throw this at you as a little teaser, a little tantalizer.
Go ahead.
There are 4 books of the Gospel. There's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Right.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Would you also agree with this statement? And you probably won't, but then again, you don't know what I know. Each one of those books, each one of those books has a different recounting of the supposed resurrection of Christ.
Resurrection.
Hold on. Now, don't get me wrong. I stand by my faith. I stand by Jesus Christ. I stand by all of that. Do not get me wrong.
By Latter-day Saints, the Mormons.
But I have a very interesting take on all of it.
Have yourself prepared next week.
The most important act in all of Christianity was the death and resurrection. How come the 4 Gospels do not get that story correct? They're all different. They all have a different recounting of the most important event in the Bible. You can't explain it away, but if you would like to know the explanation, I have it.
Here's what I want. Next week, we're on tape.
You turned into a Jehovah's Witness on us.
Next week.
No. Great. No, not even. No. That's even worse. Don't get me started on that.
Have your ducks in a row next week.
Absolutely.
We're gonna.
Let me go shoot them first.
We're gonna cover this.
I got some wild turkeys you can shoot.
Yeah. Before I play this final video, because I don't want to forget, next week I'm going to have a guest on.
Jim,
Yeah.
I want to throw one name out, a couple names. Pontius Pilate,
Go ahead.
Joseph of Arimathea.
Okay.
Okay. And those are the two names you need to keep in mind for next week, because those are two key players in the bullshit.
All right.
There you go. Okay.
I am good. Speaking of this is actually a good segue, because every week I'm going to try and line up a guest that can be on for 20, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. And if I can't, then I'm going to see if one of you guys can line up a guest. But I want to start having a guest on once a month.
I did my guest last week, so.
Yeah. Well, Brett's doing his guest thing tonight by just being here. You're a guest. No. Next week we're going to have a guy named Dave Almgren, who is an independent film promoter, and what he does is goes around and does a lot of. Well, I'm going to let him talk about what he does, but basically a lot of pre-screenings for films, and most of them really are in the faith-based movies, and I want him on because faith-based movies have really caught fire the last couple of years, so much so that Hollywood is now trying to do these epics. Noah, Exodus, and all of this.
Exodus comes out soon.
It does look good, though.
But Noah and Exodus and a lot of these movies that are trying to go off faith-based movies, in my opinion, are so far away from the actual Bible story because they're trying to sensationalize something. Like in Noah, all these talking rocks and crap. It's like, really? So anyways.
Well, but it's also liberals making them out to be whack job loons and, power hungry.
And they have nothing to do with...
I didn't say atheists, I said liberals.
Liberals.
Same shit.
And these faith-based movies don't sit there and pound Jesus at people, but they really weave faith and family.
I know a few people like that.
Guilty as charged. But anyway, so we're gonna have a guest on next week to talk about that. All right.
Yay!
And we're gonna interview him. So during the week, I'm gonna fill you guys in more about David and stuff, so that we'll all have good questions for him. And he's a frequent watcher of the show too.
David,
all right.
My first question: why do you like homosexuals so much?
Don't do that, Brett.
If he don't, I will.
No. We're going to treat our guests.
I'm here to ask the tough questions.
All right. Acts of kindness.
Why is your religion so much like a cult?
I have not, because religions are cults.
All of them, by definition. It's all about perspective.
I don't believe in organized religion.
But following Jesus Christ, he's not a religion. So anyways, we'll get into that later. Here's some...
It is a cult, though. It is a cult, though.
It is a cult, though.
It is a cult, though.
Every Catholic is a Christian, but not every Christian is a Catholic.
Correct.
All right. Here, watch this video.
People seem to get that wrong a lot.
It's all cults. Let's just leave it at that.
I hate acts of kindness.
Hold on.
Beating them? Oh.
No, here we go.
Is this a Walking Dead episode?
No.
Oh, I remember this.
About a month ago, my cameraman Gary was in a barbershop getting his
I haven't seen this.
I've seen a lot of the different ones like this.
Free time, he goes out on the streets of New York City and cuts homeless people's hair for free. I got in touch with Glenn. He agreed to come out today, be followed around by a camera crew, and show his acts of kindness to the world and inspire you guys maybe to do something nice. Hope you guys enjoy the video.
It's okay.
Excuse me, brother. What's going on, man? How you doing? I'm Brent from Brooklyn, man. You like your haircut today? Yes. Yeah, it's on me, man. Come on, take care of you. I travel around when I have time off, just give people haircuts. No way giving back,
She said buildings for homeless.
How much about that? Short one. $11. Man. Take it easy, man. No problem, right? See you again. Name is Jay, right? Take it easy, brother. Good, man. Good. Well, you don't got no shirt on, man. You don't got no shirt. You know what, man? I got something for you, man.
Well, remind me, man, like this before.
Yeah, there's no problem, man. I gotta bless my heart, you heard? Alright, take it easy. Take it easy, bro. Good luck to you.
Make sure you go check out the other new epic prank video on OcTV's channel. I helped film it. Go check it out.
What do you think?
You know, contrived or
cool.
not. Yeah, absolutely. But we don't hear about that crap. We don't see that on mainstream news. We don't talk about it.
That's why the blast is doing it, and we're going to start taking off.
Absolutely. Listen,
Because we're going to play that shit.
that's human beings being cool to each other.
Yes, that is real
That's
life.
what it's supposed to be.
And I feel sorry for them. It's winter time. They're cutting their hair.
Nice.
It's gonna be even colder now.
Oh, look at you looking for the negative and the positive.
Hey,
I would
before
get really
realistic.
itchy. I'd want to shower. I'd want to shower after all that little picky hair coming all over my neck.
Wow. You guys
before
just
we
took
go, and I promise that I'll get this questions and answers and comments things figured out. But Ragger127 has made a bunch of great comments during the show. He actually said Brett's a little messed up, but he's still pretty cool. And he also had a couple of ancestors who fought on the North as well, Amy.
Cool.
And said those were good points. But anyways, some good comments by him. And what am I doing here? Sorry, I'm looking at like 3 different things. So much to juggle, so much to keep track of.
Oh my gosh, there is. Isn't there? It's so hard to be the host of such a nationally renowned, syndicated, talk show. That comes
Soon
on
to
for
be.
about it. Well,
With the tens and tens of people.
Tens and
tens of fans.
Tens and tens of fans across the country. We are a worldwide phenomenon for about tens and tens of people.
Yeah, I'm really I want to. I hate to even say this. And never mind, I'm not going to bring it up here.
What? Okay, now you got it.
But I was. Who called me a racist last week?
Who was
that?
I did, but you weren't. You didn't
No,
hear
in
me.
the comments.
We had somebody make a comment, and they were so mad at Amy because Amy called Mike Brown the Gentle Giant. She called him a thug. And the guy got upset because he said, "How could you call him a thug after watching an 18-second video?" The 18-second video of him beating up the store clerk guy, right?
Yeah.
That kind of defines thug, right?
I'm sorry. I know you guys aren't fond of cops, but you have to be a special kind of stupid to reach into a cop car and even remotely go near his weapon. That is just is a special kind of stupid right there.
Listen,
right.
Being in my state of mind, being a person who is not fond of cops, that's probably a very good descriptor of my mentality towards them. However, that does not mean that I do not respect the position. I'm not going to frickin' listen. You tell me to put my hands up. I'm going to put my hands up. But I'm going to ask the question: am I being detained? Am I being detained? Have I committed a crime? I will ask those questions as it's going on. But I will respond. Listen, I don't want to make those guys any more uncomfortable than they need to be, because I know what they can do. They can shoot me. And unless I happen to be in a particular standoff with them, and that's going to take a real weird situation.
You don't want to have. Here's the problem. Part of the thing. You don't want to respect somebody because they have a gun. You want to respect somebody because they deserve respect.
If they are threatening me, I am going to choose the path of least resistance. That is the smart way to go. And I am not.
If you don't want to get your ass shot. Well, that's just it. With Michael Brown, he knew he didn't.
If I got a trigger-happy high school dropout in front of me with a badge on him who thinks he has special rights, you better believe I'm going to go ahead and condescend to that guy.
I've got it. Okay.
Too stupid to know what's right to do. And
last person in the world to defend these guys, but I do have to say, you're not going to find anybody with just a high school dropout who's a cop.
Right.
Okay,
but with the Michael Brown, this whole Michael Brown situation, he knew he was bagged from doing the assault and the petty theft from the store. He knew that was why
I'm
the cop
going to
was
try to
stopping
beat
him.
the shit out of a cop.
So,
I'm not going to bring cigarillos to the fight. I'm like, here's a dude who's got a gun, and I'm bringing cigarillos to a gunfight. Really?
Well, but you know what the point was? Someone had my brother actually posted a video on my page, and it said, for all you people who the person who originated the video said, for all you people who are saying that an unarmed person is no threat to a police officer, and they show a woman police officer. She's probably only like a foot shorter than him, but the guy is he's a big black dude, and she's about a foot shorter than him. And he gets out of the car, and she's talking to him, and whatever happened to make him go off, he's standing there with his 11-year-old daughter. He throat punches the cop and then absolutely annihilates her. She's crumpled like Beetle Bailey on the ground. Yeah. So he got 60 years, and he's saying, "Get in the car, honey. I can't go back to jail." Well, he got 60 years in prison. I mean, so a bigger guy, it doesn't matter if it just takes one wrong move, them knowing how to get rid of the gun, or doing the upward smack to make it fire upwards, any of those kind of things, and a 300-pound 6'6" giant is going to beat the ever-living crap out of you. That's what I'm just saying. So I just think he was a special kind of stupid for reaching in the car. I'm telling you.
Unless, based on next week's conversation, we find out that someone like David and Goliath. I mean, maybe that was fake, but
it was.
Actually, no, Andrew, it actually wasn't, and we can get into that in another talk. But
back then, wasn't it?
You didn't see the Gary
4 feet tall, and
Well, no.
Giants were 5'1".
No. 6'5" was a giant back then. So we don't really have to go too far. And by the way,
you didn't see the Cary Grant movie when he said he was the angel sitting by Daniel's.
Here's another one. Here's another one to take with you, because we're going to talk about this in the future. I'm working up something on it right now. I really am. The only skin color on the entire planet that does not belong here, if you think about it, is white. And just take that for what you will. Everybody else,
actually, that's not true.
In the Bible?
Everybody else has a skin tone except for Anglo-Saxon. And there is a reason for that, and I'll tell you why. It's because we're not from here. And we'll get into that some other time. All right, thank you.
You're a freaking whack job, man.
Oh, hey, it's conspiracy theory, baby.
You're trying to make it ones and ones of viewers? Is that what it is? You're trying to...
I'm going to make this thing so interesting. Oh, Coast to Coast AM does well. I'm telling you right now.
Let's see here. I don't know if I've got this anymore.
Oh,
jeez.
Brett, you missed last week. Jim had me so pissed off last week.
Oh,
I did. Why?
Oh, it just that whole thing was making me so angry.
What? Because
I wasn't pissed off at you. No, I wasn't pissed off at you.
surprised?
No. I wasn't pissed off at you. I was pissed off at the whole thing about Ferguson. I was just like,
just for anybody that needs to know.
Really wonder what those black helicopters are all about? Well, so does our very own Brett Harris. So join us for our tinfoil hat truth of the week. And remember, they're watching. They're always watching.
And that's why
I do like that.
Isn't that funny? I know. I'm gonna have to. I'll revise that one and make it better for Brett.
All right then. Well, listen, we got some good stuff coming up. I'm just saying. Listen, if you guys think I'm crazy, I got stuff.
As we get closer to Christmas, Brett is actually going to try to make a case to say that Jesus never died.
But
what, are you sure you don't want to do that closer to like April and Easter and just like blow the whole thing out of the water?
The sacrifice was still made. The sacrifice was still made, and you're missing. You're missing.
Bunny was killed.
He was actually, yeah. Roasted bunny is delicious.
Bring it, Brett, because me and Amy are going to shoot you down next week.
You'll have nowhere to shoot because you'll be like, oh, wait a minute, he's right.
Amy will walk you through the 12 stations of the cross, but you didn't think I knew about that.
Oh, God. Kill me. Shoot me if I ever have to do that again.
It's okay, Brett. I got you back.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Jim, you know my pain.
Hey, I have had those whacked many times with a ruler as a kid. I have gone through the 12 stations of the cross more times than I want to know, said more Hail Marys and more Our
pretending to pray at the rosary bead.
Hey, I was in a Catholic mass just last week, so I mean I understand that I stood up and sat down more than I have in probably 5 years.
I know. That's why your hair was parted funny.
It was,
seriously.
Brett.
I was actually an altar boy, one of the few who probably didn't get molested.
Yes, you were.
Although,
and I would say this. Hey, you guys.
That's right, Timmy.
You guys, Jim's priest never tried to do anything to him, no matter what Jim tried.
That's not true. I actually, and honest to God,
no matter what Jim did, they never touched him. He was, hey, what about this right here? I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Let's say hallelujah right here. I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest with you because I always believe in that being honest and vulnerable to things it is important if we're going to do a show like this or whatever we're going to do. And I had several uncles who were priests and an aunt who's a nun still. And one of the priests who I was named after, I woke up in the middle of the night with him on his knees trying to touch me. And my dad came into the room and stopped him right before it happened. So yeah, I was about 1 second away from being a victim of that, and I still remember it to the point where, look at my name on here, J.K. I don't even like my name anymore. But I'm just telling you the truth. I've been there, done that. Was not touched, but damn near.
Well,
you were touched. You were touched deeply in the heart.
Well,
praise JK.
I mean, listen, if we're gonna bring it up at all,
that's not
we can't do anything but make fun of this at this point. And I don't mean make fun in a bad way.
No, you have to have self-deprecating humor.
You do, because listen, if I was in a situation where, I mean, I was never Catholic. I mean, I needed the attention that I could have gotten. I mean, I missed out. I feel like I missed out. I really do.
Geez.
I'm just saying.
Well, we can help that. We can help that out, Brett. You come visit me. We'll help you.
Wow. All right. Then. Okay. Wow. So I'm guessing.
You said you wanted to be violated.
So the swingers are alive in Canada. All right. Yeah.
So next week, just to be clear, next week I'm going to have a guest on who is going to talk about faith-based movies and how all this stuff works behind the scenes and some cool stuff. And then you're going to try to disprove Jesus. I don't know if we should do this in the same show.
No. See, you are completely missing what I'm saying.
You're going to try to say that Jesus and the Bible is a lie.
No, nope.
Well, we already know it's a lie.
No.
Okay, let me ask you this. Can I ask you a couple questions? We'll play 3 questions.
Okay.
It's science fiction.
I'll see what I can do.
Do you believe that Jesus was the Son of God?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe that the Bible says he was the Son of God?
I believe that he says he was the Son of God, yes.
Okay. But you don't believe that he died?
I do not believe that he actually physically passed away 110%. I believe that Joseph of Arimathea took his body down, went to Pilate and said, I want to take him, and trust me, there's a whole thing here. If you want to get into it, he used his own person.
Do you believe
he used his own person? He used his own personal way.
Do you believe that the Romans broke his legs?
I believe that Pontius Pilate
broke his leg.
And that's all there is to it.
Do you believe that the Romans broke his legs up on the cross?
Quite possibly.
Because that's how they would bring on death, is they would smash the side of the knees, break the legs, causing shock, so they would die because they needed to come down before Good Friday, before death.
Right.
So do you believe that the Romans? Wait, do you believe that the Romans broke his legs?
I'm not gonna answer these questions. And by the way,
why?
It actually makes no difference. It makes no difference.
It does make a difference.
No, it does not.
I want to know. I want to know. Do you believe that they broke his legs?
Do you? Okay. Yes, I do. And by the way, do you also realize?
The Bible specifically says that they didn't break his legs because they stabbed him in the side. His side through the heart. And what? Okay. But you just so now we're already debunking.
All right. Okay, I'm going to shut up because you're trying to trick me now. Yeah.
I'm just wondering what you believe.
Okay, no, hold on.
This is going to be fun next week.
No, actually, and by the way, once I get myself reversed on all of it, then I will put together my theory.
Once I figure out what that story was.
Hey, let me ask you this. Do you remember after Mary went and found Jesus missing from the grave?
Yep.
Was that in the morning or in the evening?
Well, they said it was in the morning.
It was both, actually. So because there was 2 different versions of it. Now, was Mary with Mary Magdalene? Oh no, she was alone in one book, and she was with somebody in the other. There was an angel in one, but there wasn't an angel in the other. The stone was rolled away. The stone wasn't rolled away in one book, and then the other. So, we have 4 different recountings of the most important event in the entire Bible based off of Christianity, and we can get into that, and that's where we'll start. Whether his legs were broken or not really the issue. Not the issue at all.
It is.
I think I said something not too long ago.
Not at all. Not at all.
What was it? Man wrote those damn books, so science fiction?
Yes, they did.
Okay,
and not only did they write them, they wrote them years later, 30 to 40, 50, some 60 years later in some cases.
The reason why I say that's relevant is because the Bible is very, very specific about that, and yet you didn't even know that.
Now, let me ask you this. Did Jesus want to die?
No.
No, he did not.
He was saying it when he was on the cross.
No, but he was willing.
He didn't.
No.
His
human side did not. Yeah, his human side did not want to die.
Right. He didn't want to, of course. And after Pilate got done talking to him, Pilate actually liked him.
You think they had a side deal. You think they had a side deal.
Joseph and Pilate had a plan.
We're going to beat the snot out of you right up to the point of your almost death.
They had to.
But
they had to fall. No, the Romans, if you understand anything about the Romans, and I'm telling you, you got to bring in more. You got to look at the whole picture. We're not going to talk about this because we'll just set it up next week.
Oh my God, you are.
We'll just set it up next week.
I've ever met in my life.
We'll just set it up next week. And trust me,
amazing the stories you can come up with when you haven't been drinking.
This doesn't change the act. And that is the problem that you will have a problem with, or that is the thing that you will have a problem with.
So the idea that he died and rose again and preached in Hades during the 3 days when he was gone and told them all of that stuff. He died and rose again. None of that, Matt. It just doesn't change the facts.
Okay, and I would also, do you believe that Jesus rose into the clouds? When he said, I go to prepare a place for you, and he just lifted off into the air and disappeared in the clouds? You believe that, right?
We're going to cover all of this next week.
That's only in one of the books, and it was obviously added later, and that's obviously stated in the text. But anyway, so there's a whole bunch of problems with the 4, and once you look into the 4 and you start to break it down, there is something behind it, and if you really look at what the truth must be, the actual physical reality of the story is pretty simple when you see it, and it does not change the sacrifice that he made. It changes nothing. And
do you believe in the Shroud of Turin?
No, of course not.
You don't believe the Shroud of Turin?
Absolutely no. And by the way, that's been debunked over and over. That it's nonsense.
They actually came out and said that all of the previous because of all it was handled, and it was they couldn't debunk. They debunked the debunking. Put it that way.
Right.
Well, okay. And
you know, the Shroud of Turin.
Let me ask
you. The Shroud of Turin. Andrew, do you?
Nope.
No, and I don't either. And here's the thing. If it is, now I will say this: when Jesus said, "I go to prepare a place for you," sleep on this one. When he told his disciples, and I believe he told his disciples, when I go to prepare a place for you, he was talking about Southern Europe. He moved away. No, listen. Okay, Jim, let me ask you a question.
Is it bedtime?
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead. That's my question.
Did the Jews put Jesus to death on the cross? Did they?
So you're trying to say, did the Romans or the Jews?
The Pharisees did.
Stop. The Romans had to follow the law of the land because that's how they took over other regions. The Romans always allowed the people that they were occupying, they allowed them to keep their traditions. One of the traditions that they had was to allow them to release a prisoner, which they did.
Barabbas.
And they kept Barabbas, and they kept Jesus. They released a known murderer, but they kept Jesus and put him to death because they didn't like what he was preaching. He was preaching a whole different format about faith and about God and about your responsibility to God and about how you could get to heaven. He was changing the game, and they didn't like it.
How did Jesus make it to Europe?
Here's the thing. Whether you believe No, listen to me. Whether do you believe that Jesus died on the cross and that he was raised from the dead and that he reappeared to his disciples? He reappeared, correct? Do you believe all that?
I just am one of those goofballs that kind of believes the Bible.
Whatever he's told.
No. It's very simple. Do you believe? And I'm talking about. We aren't even getting into my theory yet, so let's just leave it alone. Let's keep it where you're comfortable. No, okay. Let's keep it where you're comfortable. Do you believe that Jesus died on the cross, and then rose from the dead 3 days later, and then reappeared to his disciples sometime thereafter? In fact, showing his wounds to them in a room where they were all gathered. Do you believe that? The Bible talks about it. It's no trick questions here. It's all in there. Okay. So, if the Pharisees and those Jews that put him to death saw him walking around again, what do you think they would say? Holy crap, didn't we kill that guy? We don't like him. He's back walking around. Arrest him again. The Romans would be like, what? And the Romans would be like, okay, we thought we killed him, but we didn't. So he had to leave.
The Bible doesn't say that he just went hanging out down at the store and, walking around like that. He appeared different.
And you know what? They didn't recognize him.
It was one of the triplets.
On the road. And by the way, that's a whole different thing, Andrew. We can get into that some other time.
I know.
But
I heard there was quadruplets involved.
No, here's the thing, Jim. We know that he didn't just disappear into nowhere. He was risen. If he rose from the dead, it means he was back alive. Well, where did he go? He couldn't stay in the same region, because if he did, the Pharisees would have seen him again, or the authorities, quote unquote, would have found him again, and they would have put him back to death. They would have put him to death again but that didn't happen. He left and went to prepare a place for all of them to be safe. The
He
Romans.
went to Europe.
He went to Rome.
Amy
He went to
helped
Rome.
me.
It's
He went
making
to
me
Rome.
tired.
It's common sense.
And
common
he went
sense.
to the Vatican, and he went downstairs in the basement.
There was
of the
no
Vatican.
Vatican. There was no Vatican. There was no Christian church.
He
There was no
laid down
Christianity.
the Vatican, and that's where
There was no Christian church then. There was no Vatican. There was none of that.
Help me, Amy. Help me.
Jim, he's your friend.
Where?
I wouldn't go that
Yeah,
far.
but he flirts with you all the time.
I wouldn't
So
go
where?
that far.
Let me ask you this then.
All
Died
right,
on the
I
cross.
got him on a roll. Go ahead.
Rose 3 days later. Where did he go? Where did he go after that? Where did he go?
To bed.
Yeah.
All right then. Good night.
Right. We're just gonna say, there, Amy. Hello. That's for Amy.
I love
All right,
that.
we're gonna end this shindig on that note. I'm looking forward to next week.
All I know is my God is an awesome God.
There you go.
I
That's a
have no
good
problem
song.
with that. I agree with it. I agree with
You know,
it.
I'm even going to play that song tonight. I'm going to post that song on the Blast just for that one over there. That one, Brett.
Andrew or Brett?
Both. What a crazy, crazy party. And I'm the only one who ever sings it.
Who sings this? Who sings this song?
Look at you. Willie Nelson.
That's Willie.
Is it Willie Nelson?
We're having fun.
We're having fun.
I'm almost crying.
Turn out the
Brett's
lights.
so freaking funny with his crazy thoughts and beliefs. It's just crazy.
None of it's all that crazy. You just have to look at the reality.
All right, we'll wave goodbye.
All right. Good night, everyone.